Planet Earth. It's an amazing place. Its variety of geography, with amazing mountains, oceans, plains and rivers, is stunning. The wildlife we found is beautiful, graceful and scary. Human civilization and culture is also amazing. The breadth of human experience on display in our many different languages and cultures is intriguing and exciting. The reach of human society is amazing too. There are now almost 8 billion people on planet Earth. That's an 8 with 9 zeros. It's a lot of people. For any follower of Jesus Christ, what's equally amazing is the fact that out of those 8 billion people, almost 3 billion people have never heard the good news about Jesus. Now, such a big number can feel a bit mind-boggling. When we combine that with the fact that Jesus commanded his followers to go and make disciples of all nations in Matthew 28 verse 19, it might seem a bit too much. I mean, look at China. It's enormous, almost 1.5 billion people. The reality of the many different nations in the world was important to Jesus. When Jesus spoke of nations, the Greek word he used is ethne. A good understanding of the meaning of that word is to think of it as being like a people group and not as a country. Jesus has commanded us to be concerned not just for the nations of the world, but all the different people groups that make up each nation. Do you know that there are 196 countries in the world? But there are 16,543 people groups. A people group is defined by having its own culture and language. And Jesus is concerned for all of the different people groups in the world. We mustn't just think about each country having access to the gospel. Each people group needs to hear it too. The truth of the matter is that the many different languages and cultures in the world, while reflecting God's delight in creativity, also act as barriers to the gospel entering into a people group. If the gospel is proclaimed to them in a language or a way that seems foreign to them, they normally resist accepting it. So we find that there are still many whole people groups, some of them with up to 5 million people, that have no indigenous church amongst them, speaking their language in ways that they know and understand. We call those people groups unreached people groups. A people group is considered reached when there are growing, healthy churches that speak the language of their people, are connected with their culture in ways that honour Jesus, and are actively reaching out to the rest of their people. Africa Inland Mission, together with many other mission agencies and churches, have found that one of the best ways of sharing the gospel with unreached people groups is to go and live with them, learn their culture and language. That's exactly what Jesus did with humankind. The Son of God came and lived amongst us. He shared himself with us so that we might know God. Jesus is passionate about unreached people groups coming to know him. As Jesus' followers, the challenge we face is to be just as concerned as he is with those around the world that have never had the chance to hear his good news.